Hello Leo, kia ora koutou katoa. Welcome to my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page if you've come across this video on Facebook. So today I am doing this one for you, and it is Saturday the 3rd of April, Leo, and this is for Leo, Capricorn, whether it is your sun, moon, rising, and or Venus sign for you. So that's interesting, Capricorn. So there may be a Capricorn in your life at the moment. I'm not sure how at the moment how that might fit in with your reading at this reading for you, but I have just this is the second recording of this reading, and I kept like saying Scorpio, and about halfway through it, and I'm thinking, oh no, and I thought, well, I thought I was just doing like, Leo, but anyway, Scorpio kept coming up. So some of you may have a Scorpio energy in your life at the moment as well. So we'll see what comes up again, and how that go for you this time round. So oopsie daisy. Oh, okay, yep, absence, it's come up before as well. So there's something about absence there. The interesting thing, it come up in reverse to the first, just before. Perspective. Now that didn't come up, but there is a word that kind of meant the same, and I just can't remember what that word is now. So not discernment. Okay, it kind of makes total sense now, because whatever was going on is coming through in a different way this time. So for some of you, you may have, like I say, a Scorpio energy or a water sign energy that's in your life. I want to go to more Scorpio because it was like that's the sign that kept coming up before, but also Capricorn's just dropped in, so it's like some of you is maybe dealing with a Capricorn energy, or Capricorn energy or Scorpio energy maybe in your chart as well, Leo. So okay, awesome, we're just going to roll with that. So we're doing a mind, body, spirit, soul's energy, here that's coming through, and basically there's just like the I want to say like not so much the overall energy with these cards, but there may be something, there's obviously something that some of you are needing to express something, getting something out. But it may be that, and what I'm hearing though is like an overall energy, but it's something to like look at within your life, or what's going on around you at the moment, within the energy that's going around you at the moment, or throughout this month of April 2021, because this is what the month of what this reading is for. Okay, for you, Leo. So like I say, welcome. Just remember that these messages that come through with these readings are general, so they may or may not resonate with you. If they do, wonderful. If they don't totally chuck it out the window if it doesn't all quite fit, but because it may be that it's more of a coming up in the near future for you, which is why you're not understanding it, so or it's not resonating with you at the moment, because they are generally a forecast, so which means like in the future. So but some of you, it may be more in the now that you're understanding it, because you're getting it, there's something that's you're like brewing up for you, or you can feel it or sense something coming up in this near future. And so this is just helping give you a little bit of idea what may be coming up for you, in the sense with a bit of encouragement, and how to, and like with moving through some things that might come up for you that you're not seeing at the moment, and just letting you know, giving you a little bit of a heads up. So this is like I say, it is a general read, and it's like we all have free choice. So it's not saying that this is exactly what's going to happen, but it's going to give you maybe a heads up that may be whatever's coming up. So you just kind of be a little bit more prepared. Once, as always, listen to your own intuition as well, okay, with what could be going on. So we're in the first one here with the mind. We have absence. So there may be a little bit of absence of mind at the moment, with some things going on around you in your life. And sometimes when there are things going on in our lives, we do get a little bit absent-minded, and we come out of our body, or we're going, and you feel a little bit lightheaded. And so this is about coming back in and grounding yourself. So in the second row here is the on a physical level, is about perspective. So that one is in reverse. So I'm going to leave it there. So there may be something where you're not shifting your perspective, okay, on a physical level. So there may be, like, this is like coming back down and grounding. So I actually am going to turn that around now. So when we get back here on earth, when we're being more in the moment and being consciously aware, that's being in our body, with our, not just floating around there in our energy. It's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing to stay out there all the time, because we need to be back here so we can deal with shit here. Good shit, not so good shit as well. So it's deal with stuff here, whichever way you look at it. So, and that's what it said. So we can get that better perspective and we can put it into action, is where they're going with that. Then we have influence here. So on a spiritual level, so there may be some influences around you, also some influencers around you. So like the differences, they're just showing a difference in the sense of the way that you look at it. So because they're saying influencers and influencers, so around you. So some of the influences that they're talking about, Spirit are talking about, or the guardians of the light are talking about here, along with your guides and helpers, guides that are coming through, are about the influences of how the moon or energy can influence us, okay? And in our energy, it's being mindful about where your energy is. So I feel like some of you are learning more about that on a spiritual way, and you're starting to see, like, as your perspective, starts to shift and change about how things are working and your contribution to why things are the way they are in, your life, or have been in your life in a variety of ways, okay? So there is something to do with that. But the influences that are in your life, it's like bringing your attention to the influences in your life, like the positive ones and the not so positive ones. So I was, whichever way you look at it, like the negative ones and the positive ones, or the ones that are uplifting and the ones that are the draining your energy out, or the not so high energy, and how that affects you, but your part in that too, and how in creating boundaries and all that sort of thing. So there's this sort of thing that's coming up there on a spiritual level. You're starting to figure some of that stuff out. Efficiency. So on a soul level, it's like, I feel like there's a sense of being efficient and effective, but more efficiency. But when we're in our body, when we're sorting that stuff out, it's like your soul is saying you can become more efficient in all areas of your life. But I'm feeling like for specific, some of you it's more specific areas, but once we nail that, it's like it starts to flow out into the rest of our life, our lives, in parts of our life. Discernment is the other one. So it helps us to be able to discern better what it is that we want, that is ours and not ours, what we need, and that sort of thing. So, and therefore it helps us to like figure out how we can deal with our own stuff, and how we can deal like with other people's stuff, and like interfering with our energies, and like creating boundaries, in that sense, like in that sense. But also, how we can support others as well without having to be, caught up in their stuff and taking it on board. Okay, there is a certain amount of responsibility that we have to take for ourselves, but that's learning about codependency. And I'm using the word codependency. It's a wide word, but it covers in it, because these are general readings. So in whatever way or form that works for you, okay? So anyway, I'm using the Universal Celtic Tarot at the moment. Things are moving quite quickly because I really want to like get moving, or rush. But I'm hearing like, don't rush too much, because it's like we start to miss, or you will start to miss the truth of the matter, or you'll start to not listen, you're not get the full picture, or integrate it, see it, be it, understand it. So we have the Lovers in the mind, the world in the physical here, the Nine of Wands, and the Chariot here, okay? In the second row. I'll just see what comes out next. And then we have the Five of Wands coming through here, and we'll just go, where we go, come on. There we go, and we'll see what comes through here with the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the Justice card. Okay. So through here, and and following on with that, with the mind, so the Lovers here. So there is something about an absence, absent-minded or absence of mind. But I'm feeling, so some of you, there may be a love relationship or a love triangle that's throwing you out of your comfort zone, or out of your mind, you could say. But I do feel like for some of you, the Lovers is also, I'm hearing and feeling that this is about you, the absence of you having a wonderful relationship, emotional relationship with yourself and or others. So there's something that's building up there or brewing there, that your mind is like trying to figure out and understand how that could be, and how do I do that sort of thing. But also for some of you, there's been a shift in that for you, so on a different level there. The world is here, so from a different perspective, the world is starting to open up with you. You're seeing the world in a different way with this perspective here. And then the influence here, on the influence, the Nine of Wands, it's like, which, when we do that, it influences us to be the energy from, we start to get that understand and we're able to move through things with the Nine of Wands. So there's something about, like moving through, because you've been moving through it, taking action with working on yourself, healing on yourself, understanding what is going on with these different energies that are around here, and you're figuring out what your influences are, what's influencing you, but and who your influences are. So it's like there is something about leaving, creating a boundary there, and moving forward, basically leaving the past in the past. So it's like you can see the trees through the woods through the trees. That's it. And then we have the Chariot here on a soul level, which is about, there's something doing about making a decision. I do feel like there's because these horses are running, so in they're galloping, so in this deck, so there's something moving. I feel like there are a couple of ways that you could move, and what I'm hearing is just taking moving in a direction that feeds your soul, basically, rather than moving into something that's just you're gonna make do with it. So but it's like there is something, I'm hearing like for some of you there's like a split decision, and there's do I go this way or do I go that way? But I'm just hearing for some of you there's there's a couple of paths there that you could take a look at. But what I'm hearing is like just go, that whatever you choose, for a lot of yous, you'll know who you are. Is like either way, it doesn't matter, because it's like it's going to bring you back on your path. It's just like I've just got to choose one thing now, and that's what I'm hearing, is just making a choice. Otherwise, you're going to be, if you're going to keep dithering, you're just going to be stuck in the same place, and and you're not going to be moving anywhere, which is going to upset you even more than what you already are. So it's like, come on, chop, chop, chop. So I do feel like there is a sense of urgency in a way, but it's not really urgent though. But it's just like, come on, in order to keep the momentum going or things going, so you don't become stagnant, is what I'm hearing for that. Because on the mind, so this is where they're talking about that, is like, it's like this energy here is moving, so let's move with it and keep the momentum. So because otherwise they're saying like this one here, the Wands, is about a lack of movement in a way. There's a sense of frustration there, but it's like, because it's like in your mind, it's like it's about making this decision here. So then we have the Knight of Pentacles on the physical level. So there's something moving, like the energy here is like maybe it's moving. The Knights are always the energy that comes through with a movement, sort of something moving, but it's not as fast as say like the Knight of Swords or the King or the King of Swords, the Knight of Swords, or the Knight of Wands, but there is their energy like is a different energy, like it's a lot quicker than say this one here. So the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. However, it's all about movement. So this is something that's like kind of slowing down, and it's like taking the next step to carefully plant, tend the seeds that you've grown. Okay, this is where they're talking about here. So it's like you may feel a little bit frustrated that things aren't moving as quickly as you would like, but rest assured is what these cards are saying, is what the guardians are saying, of the light is saying, is that, you know, what they're bringing in here is like, just rest assured there's something, there are seeds that you've planted, but you've just got to keep tending them. And this is why it's not so much rushing, but it's keeping that momentum, but doing things on the outside and around it, underneath it, below it, that are productive on saying that. Then we have the Ace of Wands in a on the spiritual, you know, row here. So, and it talks about, you know, new ideas, new beginnings, and that, so, and sparking up new, taking action on new ideas. It's like you've got it there, now it's about putting it together and creating it. So you may not, in taking those steps, taking action to whatever that is, it may be researching, finding out more information, and, you know, it could be like, you know, bringing more people together, the right people, networking, or whatever it is. For some of it, you know, it may be that you've pulled everything together and it's like, okay, and now it's kind of like you're more ready to hit the ground running or walking or whatever it is, but there's something, you're more ready to hit the ground anyway, and take, you know, and there's some sort of action in there. Sorry, these cards are a little bit not kind of not sticky, but they're a little bit okay, bent is what the word I wanted to use. So then we have the Page of Cups here. I don't know why I shot with it, but I felt like I wanted to. So anyway, then we have here the Justice and the Soul level here. So the justice has come through, and it's like, you know, obviously it's like justice will be served. You know, that's pretty much the first words that'll probably come out of your mouth. But there's something like, with the work that you've been putting into it, it's like there is a sense of justice. You know, you've achieved what you needed to achieve. And then maybe that sense too, I'm hearing for some of you, it's like some people may have like, oh, you'll never get this done, da 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 da. So there's all those negative sorts of energies that are around, and it's like, you know, or people that you know, are not very optimistic in the way that you see things or do things. So you may have had to, you know, keep some things close to your chest. But I do feel like in a way, it's like there's a sense of justice, and it's like for you too, it's like I can hear, see, I told you, I knew I could do this, or I knew this would happen, or I knew, you know, or I felt that, you know, I felt or I sensed that if I went this way, if I just hung on a little bit, kept plugging it a little bit more, this could, you know, I'd have the breakthrough that I needed to see for the, you know, to continue going in the way that I needed to go to. So there is interesting, you know, there's that efficiency and that discernment. So there's that in the soul level, it's like you kind of know where you need to go, and it's like, and you know what you need to do. And I feel like for some of you, whatever that's going on in you, there may be like a phase in a relationship, or there are a phase in a business, or a phase in a job or a career or study and that sort of thing, that your soul is saying to get ready to pull everything together and make sure that you're discerning what you're getting is what you're receiving, what you're getting, and, you know, intuitively is what you're getting. It's not being influenced by somebody else's thoughts or feelings through whether it's pessimism or whatever, but whether it's, you know, positive, it's always positive, but there's that sense of like coming back down into here, and like knowing that, you know, being centered and focused and in your own energy as you make your decisions and the movements that you need to take for this month. So the Page of Cups, this is, you know, the Page of Cups is a new emotional way of being, thinking, doing things. It's like it's like there's plenty of fish in the sea there, or in the river there, but I feel it's not necessarily about that, but with the fact that I said that, some of yous may be in a, like, there may be a love triangle there, where some of yous may be the one that's walking away, away from a relationship. Why I've said why that's come through, because of this, you know, love triangle. But I do feel like some of yous may have been already, you know, walking away anyway, but this whole thing here is just like you're getting a lot more confirmation, like that's come through, and it's making you feel like, oh yeah, no, I am on the right track. So and you know, when I do this will help, you know, open up my world a bit more. I can leave that, you know, settle that. So there's some sort of finality with some of you there, with a relationship there, or an ex and that sort of thing, whether it's been an ex from the distant past, and there may be some emotions that have been held on to for a little while, Leo, but it's like there's definitely something moving. So there's a new emotional way of being and thinking in your mind, in your mindset now coming up. So, which is really cool, with whatever that is. It could be something that you've walked away from, you know, something that you really loved to do, or like a job even, or a you know, and it's like that, but you know that whatever it is, it's not serving you, so you're going to begin something new. Okay, so whatever it is for you, so there may be, it may be study that you're studying and you're completing that, or you've come to that completion. It's like now you're taking the next steps into, you know, looking at how you can apply what you've studied even more. Not to say that you weren't before, but, you know, before you finish, but it's like now it's like, okay, even more so, that it's like become that. But so even like a change of job. Okay, we'll take that one. The High Priestess comes through on a physical level. It's making movements, and, you know, listening to, you know, with where your intuition is going there, but not being, you know, not being fooled by, you know, other things that are going on that maybe because your energy may be a bit high, because I'm just looking at the full moon there is not allowing your emotions to get in the way of you know, these next directions with this on a physical level, with what's coming up with this new way of, you know, a different way of thinking. So there is a little bit of frustration there, but because these cards come up, I feel like there's something that's shifted in there, but then you're moving into a space. It's like you could either go, you could go either way, you know. This may be, it could be, it's up to you, you know. But if you feel yourself going, I feel like they maybe on saying that they're looking, I'm getting that feeling that it's just being mindful about how your emotions can flop back and forth. So it's being, you know, yeah, being discernment again, okay, and about what things are influencing you with that thought and feeling. High Priestess comes in, you know, with this energy with the moon there. She's all about intuition, and, you know, and our intuition, and she brings out these secrets and mysteries within us to delve into, and also other things around us. So, but this is like, you know, because you're very intuitive, so this is really super using your intuition. The Queen of Pentacles here, very grounded, you know, in this movement here on a spiritual journey here, but also on this you know, in here it's like there's still movement. I feel like on the physical movement, I want to say there's the changes that are coming through. It's like listening to your intuition and where you're wanting to go in your, you know, your work life, your family life, and your energy level. So your energy level, so because the Queen is very grounded, so I'm hearing like this is about going back into nature too, to ground yourself, even with all this coming, you know, this coming through here for you, Leo, grounding yourself, because things are going to be, you know, a lot more successful when you're here, okay? But it's also like in listening to your intuition without letting your mind get in the way and your emotions get in the way. But there's, with the page coming here, there's a different way, like I feel like you're starting to like see what, you know, what is meant by that, and it's like, okay, and you starting to pull back from not letting your emotions be the thing that drive you to making decisions. It's like, because sometimes, you know, when we make decisions based on our emotions, especially when we're coming from, you know, that sad, a sad space, or a heightened anxiety space within those emotions. And so it's about, you know, noticing what your emotions are about, you know, like, so for instance, there may be something going on with your work, and you may just like go like far out, you know, fuck it, I'm just going to leave. So in that sort of sense, you may have, you know, it's just being mindful about maybe not making an impulsive movement like that. So it's like, okay, I am really upset about that, is, you know, and asking the question and discerning is like, am I letting my emotions get in the way? Is this my stuff, or is this their stuff? Even if it is their stuff, it's like, do I need to make a decision based on my emotional space now, right now? So it's like, okay, just take some time, sit with it for a moment, and then, you know, make, because it's kind of like what I'm hearing, Spirit, it may be that you're making a rational and irrational decision rather than a rational decision. Okay, that's how they're wording it. And sometimes we can do that. So, and then, you know, and it can, you know, not serve us well sometimes. So what I'm hearing is like there's that balance in there with that, going back to that discernment. Six of Swords, there's a sense of a moving away from strife, okay, with that card there. And so you may be getting out of your head and like, you know, and the emotionally, because with these one cards here, it's like, yeah, I'm feeling more grounded, more centered, and I'm making, I can, you know, and it feels really good, blah, blah, blah. Okay, holding on too tight to money, energy, thoughts, feelings, but family, that sort of things, because things are moving. You got the High Priestess again. So, you know, this is really listening to that gut feeling in a way, but also, you know, you're finding that balance, you know, I'm hearing like the yin and the yang, taking notice of what your energy is like. But then we have here also the, you know, the Nine of Pentacles there. So there's a sense of things like starting to come together. You know, it could be, you know, like with your energy levels, you know, lifting in that sense, because you're more here. You're not out of your head around like the money side of things, but and you're making sure that you are, you know, like spreading, you know, balancing your energy levels, but also your family connection as well. Because I want to bring in the family. If Spirit just dropped in the family, like you're seeing more, you know, about how you can loosen your grip and the lesser control and the way that you're thinking about things and feeling about things, you know, with family stuff and that sort of thing. So, and then we have here, like I say, the Nine of Pentacles here. So there's something that, you know, that more coming, you know, coming together for you, feeling a little bit more fulfilled because, you know, on a spiritual level, because you're starting to take notice of things around you, being more in the moment, being, you know, and which is meaning that means that you're able to discern, basically, you know, and, you know, be more grounded and make, you know, decisions that are more grounded decisions is what I'm hearing from that one. But there's that sense of fulfillment of where you are as well. But I am hearing once again is like getting back and going into nature and just grounding yourself as well. And centering yourself. But there's something with the Nine of Pentacles that something is coming to an end. Like there is, like you like there's the cycle in the sense that, you know, the growth that you've, in the understanding that you've come to know about your relationship with, say, your family, your money side of things, and, you know, finances and career, that you've worked along it and you've seen it. So it's like you're building the foundation of it, and you're like, there's that fulfilling part side of it there. And you can now, there's like this sense of now knowing more so where my next step is, and that just having that faith and that trust. Because then we come into like the Seven here. It's just like there is, you know, there's some sort of decision that you're needing to be making, and there may be like you moving forward because something isn't, you've realized like through all this that something isn't working right in the way that you thought, or you've outgrown something. So there's a new opportunity, a new idea, something new that you may be thinking about moving into, that's like you may be more thinking or allowing yourself to go into it as, you know, maybe still doing the job that you're doing, or maybe decreasing and doing part-time or whatever it is in your business, whatever it is. But it's like I feel like there is something, this card has come up to maybe more consider about what you need to do for the next step too, as well as learning new skills, which is what the Eight of Pentacles is about. So there's that sort of thing, is like maybe more contemplating about your next career, more so with the options that, you know, whether on a soul level that you can, I can do this, you know, or what do I need to do to make this happen? Okay, that sort of sense. Okay, so there's that sort of energy there. So I'm going to leave that with you now, Leo. So with lots of love, peace, harmony, and joy. Also prosperity and abundance, not only from me, but from my, or from the, I keep going to say the keepers of the light, but the guardians of the light. Anyway, bye for now.